Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Fluent Path English. I'm James.
And I'm Emily. Thanks for joining us today. James, have you ever taken a personality test?
Oh, yeah, I have. You know, those quizzes that tell you what kind of person you are based on your answers.
Right. They're pretty popular. Some are just for fun, but others are used in things like job interviews or self-improvement.
That's true. But I always wonder, how accurate are they really?
Some people feel like the results describe them perfectly, while others think they're just a bunch of generic statements.
Yeah, like when you read something and think, wow, that's totally me. But then you realize the same thing could apply to almost anyone.
Exactly. And that's what today's dialogue is about. In this conversation, a teacher hands out personality test results to a class. Some students are excited to share theirs, while others don't take it seriously at all.
Right, and we'll hear some useful phrases related to discussing opinions and describing people's personalities.
Sounds great. All right, let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Okay, class, settle down. I have the results of your individual personality tests. I am going to hand them out, and if you'd like, you can read them out loud to the rest of the class.
I'll read mine.
Okay, go ahead.
It says here that I am adventurous, outgoing, and easygoing. It says that I'm a little superstitious and occasionally naive. That's not true.
Well, the test isn't 100% accurate. Is that all it says?
No. It also says that I'm open-minded with great ambition, but that I can also be reckless and clumsy. This is stupid.
Okay. Anyone else want to read theirs?
I'll go. It says that I'm an extroverted, well-balanced person. It says I am generous, outspoken, and very diligent. This is so true. It also says that I am a magnanimous, eloquent, and daring. This is totally me.
Whatever. These tests are baloney.
That was an interesting conversation. You can really see how people react differently to personality test results.
Right? Some people really believe in them, while others don't take them seriously at all.
Exactly. And that's reflected in today's dialogue. One student was excited about their results, while another dismissed them as nonsense.
Yep. All right. Now let's break down some useful phrases from the dialogue.
All right. Let's start with the phrase, settle down.
Settle down.
Settle down.
This phrase is often used to ask a group of people to become quiet and calm, especially in a classroom or group setting.
That's right. A teacher might say, okay, class, settle down, when students are talking too much. It's similar to calm down, but there's a slight difference.
Right. Calm down is usually used when someone is upset or angry, like, hey, calm down. But settle down is more about getting people to focus and be quiet.
Good point. So if a group is noisy, you say settle down. But if someone is getting emotional, you say calm down.
Exactly. Now, let's move on to the phrase accurate.
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 This word means correct or exact, and it's often used when talking about numbers, facts, or information.
Right. For example, the weather forecast was accurate today. Or, his description of the event was very accurate.
You wouldn't usually use accurate to describe an opinion or a feeling, though. Instead, you might say true or correct.
That's a good distinction. Now let's talk about baloney.
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 This word is a slang term that means nonsense or something untrue. It's a casual way to say that something is ridiculous or not believable.
Right. It actually comes from bologna, the type of processed meat, which was often seen as cheap or low quality. So people started using it as slang for nonsense.
That's interesting. And baloney is similar to stupid in meaning. But stupid is more about intelligence, while baloney just means something isn't true or makes no sense.
Exactly. Like, that story is total baloney. But you wouldn't say, that person is baloney. Instead, you'd say, that person is stupid if they lack intelligence.
Great. Now that we've broken down these phrases, let's listen to the dialogue again and try to spot them in context.
Okay, class, settle down. I have the results of your individual personality tests. I am going to hand them out, and if you'd like, you can read them out loud to the rest of the class.
I'll read mine.
Okay, go ahead.
It says here that I am adventurous, outgoing, and easygoing. It says that I'm a little superstitious and occasionally naive. That's not true.
Well, the test isn't 100% accurate. Is that all it says?
No. It also says that I'm open-minded with great ambition, but that I can also be reckless and clumsy. This is stupid.
Okay. Anyone else want to read theirs?
I'll go. It says that I'm an extroverted, well-balanced person. It says I am generous, outspoken, and very diligent. This is so true. It also says that I am a magnanimous, eloquent, and daring. This is totally me.
Whatever. These tests are baloney.
You know, Emily, personality tests actually remind me of horoscopes.
Oh, that's true. Both try to describe a person's traits, but some people take them very seriously, while others don't believe in them at all.
Exactly. And they often use really broad descriptions that could apply to almost anyone.
Right. Like, you are sometimes quiet, but other times you like to talk. That could be anyone.
Yeah, but I have to admit, they can be fun to read.
Absolutely. And sometimes, even if they're not totally accurate, they can still make you think about yourself in a new way.
That's true. All right, let's go over the personality-related words from the dialogue, starting with the ones that describe the male student.
Sounds good. First up, we have adventurous.
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 This means someone who enjoys taking risks and trying new things. An adventurous person might love traveling to unfamiliar places or trying extreme sports.
Right. For example, she's so adventurous. She went skydiving on her birthday.
Next, we have outgoing.
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 This describes someone who is sociable, friendly, and enjoys being around people.
Exactly. An outgoing person is usually comfortable in social situations. For example, Mark is very outgoing. He makes friends wherever he goes.
Now let's talk about easygoing.
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 This means someone who is relaxed, not easily stressed, and doesn't get upset over small things.
Right. For example, she's so easygoing, nothing ever seems to bother her.
Next, superstitious.
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 This means someone who believes in supernatural things or luck. A superstitious person might avoid walking under ladders or believe in lucky numbers.
Good example. For instance, my grandma is superstitious. She won't open an umbrella indoors.
All right, let's talk about naive.
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 This means someone who lacks experience or is too trusting. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can mean someone is easily fooled.
Right, like, he was naive to believe the scammer's story.
Now, open-minded.
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 This describes someone who is willing to consider different ideas and perspectives.
Exactly. For example, she's very open-minded about trying new foods.
Next, ambition.
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 This refers to a strong desire to achieve success. If someone is ambitious, they work hard to reach their goals.
Right. For example, he has great ambition. He wants to become the CEO one day.
Now let's take a look at reckless.
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 This means acting without thinking about the consequences. A reckless person might take dangerous risks.
Exactly. Like, he drove recklessly and got into an accident.
All right, the last word describing the male student is clumsy.
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 This describes someone who often drops things, bumps into furniture, or has trouble moving smoothly.
Right, like, I'm so clumsy, I always spill my coffee.
All right, now let's go over the words that describe the female student.
First, extroverted.
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 This is similar to outgoing. It means someone who enjoys socializing and gets energy from being around people.
Right. For example, she's very extroverted. She loves parties and meeting new people.
Next, well-balanced.
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 This describes someone who has a good mix of qualities and stays emotionally stable.
Exactly. Like, he's a well-balanced person. He stays calm even under pressure.
Now, generous.
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 This means someone who likes to share and give to others, whether it's time, money, or kindness.
Right. Like, she's very generous. She always donates to charity.
Now, let's take a look at outspoken.
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 This describes someone who speaks their mind and isn't afraid to express their opinions.
Exactly. Like, he's outspoken about his beliefs.
Okay, now, diligent.
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 This means hardworking and paying attention to details.
Right, like, she's very diligent in her studies.
All right. The next phrase is magnanimous.
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 This means someone who is very generous and forgiving, even toward people who may not deserve it.
Right. For example, after winning the competition, he was magnanimous and congratulated his opponent.
Now let's talk about eloquent.
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 This means someone who speaks clearly and persuasively.
Right, like, she gave an eloquent speech at the conference.
All right, today's last word is daring.
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 This means someone who is bold and willing to take risks.
Exactly. Like, she made a daring decision to start her own business.
Phew, that was a lot of personality-related words.
Yeah. Now let's listen to the dialogue one last time and try to recognize these words in context.
Okay, class, settle down. I have the results of your individual personality tests. I am going to hand them out, and if you'd like, you can read them out loud to the rest of the class.
I'll read mine.
Okay, go ahead.
It says here that I am adventurous, outgoing, and easygoing. It says that I'm a little superstitious and occasionally naive. That's not true.
Well, the test isn't 100% accurate. Is that all it says?
No. It also says that I'm open-minded with great ambition, but that I can also be reckless and clumsy. This is stupid.
Okay. Anyone else want to read theirs?
I'll go. It says that I'm an extroverted, well-balanced person. It says I am generous, outspoken, and very diligent. This is so true. It also says that I am a magnanimous, eloquent, and daring. This is totally me.
Whatever. These tests are baloney.
All right, we're back. Hopefully, our listeners picked up some useful expressions from today's conversation.
Yeah, these phrases are super useful when talking about personality traits and sharing opinions.
Exactly. Personality tests can be a fun way to learn more about yourself, but it's always good to take them with a grain of salt.
Right. Some people take them seriously, while others think they're completely meaningless.
And either way, they can be a great conversation starter.
Definitely. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed this episode, Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review.
We'll be back soon with more real-life English conversations.
See you next time.
Bye.